Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I'm going to return to the viral keto noodle recipe to make one of my most requested recipes, which is spinach noodles. Now, I believe it was the follow-up video that I did where I answered a bunch of frequently asked questions about the viral noodles that I talked about doing them with spinach, and I kind of explained the process, but apparently not enough because people said, just make a video. So here we go. This is the video. For starters, I have one package of frozen chopped spinach. That's 10 ounces or 283 grams. I'm going to put that into a strainer and then sort of push and squeeze as much liquid out as I can. Now, it doesn't have to be bone dry, but I do want to get a fair amount of the liquid out. After that, I'm down to 4.8 ounces or 136 grams. Then to a blender, I will add 3 cups or 710 ml of water, as well as my drained and squeezed out spinach. Then I'm going to blend this until it's essentially juice. This will probably take anywhere from 30 seconds to 60 seconds, depending on the power of your blender. Pop off the lid, and you will see here that this is essentially now spinach juice. To this, I will add 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. I'm using perfected xanthan gum. You don't need to use perfected xanthan gum. But you do want to make sure that the blender is running while you add it so that it doesn't clump. Next, I will add 1 tablespoon of sodium alginate. This is a salt derived from seaweed. And after that xanthan gum, my liquid is now thick enough that I can blend this in with the lid off. I still want to run it for about another 30 seconds to make sure it's fully incorporated. For this batch, I'm going to do something different. I'm using a fat separator sent to me from viewer David DiDonato. And I'm going to pour my liquid into this, and then the hope is that the bubbles will rise up, and then because this drains from the bottom, I can avoid having to skim off those bubbles as a final step. While the noodle batter sits, I'm going to add 7 cups or 1.6 liters of water to a large bowl. And to this, I will add 1 tablespoon of calcium lactate. This is another natural product. It's derived from dairy, and when combined with that alginate, does something called spherification. It is what firms up the noodles. I'll stir this in until it dissolves, and then I'll let this sit for about half an hour while I let the bubbles rise on my batter. So you can see here, the bubbles are now all at the surface. My hope is that this is going to drain out wonderfully through the bottom into my little condiment bottle here, my little squeeze bottle. And this is going very slowly. I do not have the patience for that, so I am going to go back to the old method and just skim that layer of bubbles off the top and pour it into my squeeze bottle. Much easier. Now with my water bath, I will get a whirlpool going, get the tip fairly close to the water, and give some squeezes. You want to make sure that you're releasing the squeeze every so often, unless you want to create a 30-foot long noodle, which you probably do not. You'll get about 2 full squeeze bottles worth. Then we'll let this sit for an hour or 2 so our noodles can firm up. Next, I have a non-stick pan which I am heating up over medium-high heat, and while that preheats, I'm going to drain my noodles in a colander. I'll add 1 pound or 454 grams of Italian sausage to my pan and break it up and brown it. Once it's all browned and crumbly, I'll use a slotted spoon to pull this off to another bowl just briefly. You don't have to get every last bit, and we do want to leave that fat in there to cook the noodles, which we're going to do right now. Stir the noodles around for a minute or 2 with a spatula, and then we're going to add some Rao's Alfredo sauce, 1 cup. The Rao's is the lowest carb Alfredo sauce that I have found. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't give you the metric amounts right there, it's because I decided I'm going to upgrade and do the rest of the jar. So 425 grams total. Once the Alfredo sauce is mixed in, we will add back in our Italian sausage and gently fold that in. We don't want to be too aggressive or we might break some of our noodles. Then we'll let that simmer for a couple of minutes and plate it up. I'm going to add a little fresh grated Parmesan and just a pinch of pepper flakes. All right, let's give it a taste. Oh yeah. Especially when you get a little of that sausage. So the texture of these spinach noodles is a little bit softer than the chicken ones I've done, and of course a little bit softer than regular spaghetti. Not quite so much of that al dente to it. More, right on the edge of sort of overcooked spaghetti, but I'm telling you, the sauce, the sausage, I got a little bit of pepper flake in my throat right now, but this is some yummy stuff right here. And only about 7 total carbs per serving. And that whole big thing that you saw, I'm going to call that probably 6 servings. So a serving would likely be a little bit bigger than what I've got on this plate. And I suspect I'm going to be fairly full by the time I finish it. All right, so I have my non-keto wife, Terry, here.
Hi.
And I'm going to give her a taste.
Yum. Sausage. Spinachy. Yeah, good. Noodles. Taste like noodles.
Yeah, a little soft though. Would you agree? The noodles are a little bit soft, but overall,
very good.
Would you know this is keto?
No.
All right. Seal of approval.
Yes.
So in the description down below, I will include the link to the original recipe that I did with the chicken-based noodles. Basically, you just follow that, but substitute in the spinach. And then I will also include in the description the macros for making it the way that I made it with the Italian sausage and the Rao's Alfredo. I'm also going to link to my other 2 noodle videos right over there. You can check them out, both the original and the frequently asked questions. Thanks for watching.